Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Italy Answered, which is the podcast edition of Live in Italy magazine. I've only have one word to say, and I know it's going to pique your curiosity. That is pizza. And we're going to talk about pizza, but not just pizza. I am pleased to introduce Mirko D'Agata, who is the world's best pizzaiolo. He just won that award in Las Vegas, and we're going to talk about that today. Mirko is originally from Italy and now lives in Montreal, Canada. And if you've been following our journey, you know that I have a special affinity for Canada, being born there. And we're pleased for our June issue to focus on Italians in Canada and Italian Canadians for Italian Heritage Month in Canada. So stick with us as we get to know Mirko's journey. My name is Lisa Morales, and I am the editor of Live in Italy magazine, a travel and lifestyle publication dedicated to all things Italy. Hi, Mirko. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you to invite me. I'm happy to be here.
We're really pleased to have you here, too. So I'd like to start at the beginning. Where were you born and raised?
I born and raised in Turin, in Torino, north of Italy. Is the northwest of Italy, in the region of Piemonte. So it's the region known for good wines and good chocolate. And my parents are originally from Sicily. They arrived in Piemonte for work. They used to work at Fiat, is the company that builds cars. And me and my brother, we born and raised there, yes, in Turin.
Yeah, that was something that I was a little surprised, because I presumed, being a specialist in pizza Napoletana, that you were probably from the Napoli region. So it's great to hear more about your region. Of course, Fiat and a lot of industrial, the heart of industry is in your region. So, and growing up in northern Italy must have been a great experience as far as food. So talk to us about some of your first cherished food memories.
Yes, but I had the chance to work with many master Napolitan pizza master in my early career. I worked a lot in the center, in the downtown, the old downtown of Turin, with them in many Napolitan pizzerias. But I think that my first moment with the pizza that I will never forget, in my first pizzeria, they used to be a pizzeria just for takeout. And we have a huge menu, like with 50 pizzas to memorize. What happened to me was that the owner used to do the dough, and he asked me to turn myself and looking outside while he was adding yeast to the dough. Because he didn't want me to understand or know how much yeast he was used to put inside the dough. And that it was funny to me, because I always think that if we share our knowledge, everybody is growing. But for him, it was like a secret. And he didn't want to share. And even I worked for him like 2 years and a half. He never told me. I never had the recipe of the dough. But at the end, pizza is something that you when you eat, you share the moment, and you share the pizza, especially with some style of pizza. And it was my funny moment. Then I had many others of funny in the pizzeria, but this one I will never forget. Like, look outside, I'm gonna put yeast in the dough. Okay, I will do.
That's unbelievable. And anybody that bakes bread or pizza, and I've done that myself, is the process of fermentation is so complicated, and it probably can never be equally matched. But for somebody to guard that secret is incredible. Are you like that today? Would you guard your secret?
No, at all. No, I think that recipes are made to be shared with everybody, but recipe is one thing, knowledge and techniques is another one. If you don't have the knowledge and the techniques, you're not gonna do anything with the recipe. You're just gonna follow, but you don't understand what you're doing. So
Right.
it stays a recipe without any importance and any value added. So for me, the most important thing is share my knowledge and help the young people to understand why we do things, not only take this recipe and repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, exactly. That's a great philosophy. So, growing up in Torino and northern Italy, what is your fondest kind of at-home family memory of food, and who did the cooking
Oh yeah.
primarily?
But I have a family that is there's one of my uncles is was a really great chef working in Sicily at a really big hotel, famous hotel in Taormina, one of the most beautiful little city in Sicily. And so in my family, there's a lot of kitchen, a lot of good food, and a lot of fresh and made homemade food. So my father, he always loved to cook. Even if it's not a chef, we always have some amazing meals and some nice tradition too. And he always likes to do things from scratch. So for me, was one of the best memory was doing arancini with him, because he came from Sicily, he came from Catania, my
Mm-hmm.
father. So in Catania we have arancini with the points, not the round one like in Palermo, because it's in honor of the volcano Etna, the Etna volcano. So that's why they are with the points, and they are made with the bolognese sauce, if we can call it like that. It's a traditional meat sauce with the tomatoes, and we used to do together. And for me, arancini is something that still today I can have. I don't know how many. I cannot stop. I just love them, and it was fun to do with him because it's a long process. So you need to do the risotto, then it cools down. It cools down. Then you, in the same time, you need to do the stuff that you're gonna put inside. So the sauce, the meat sauce. You need to cut the cheese, because we used to put inside some caciocavallo or some fontina, not the fior di latte, not the mozzarella. So there's the eggs or the pastella, so flour and water to prepare. There's the crumble, not the crumble, sorry, the panko to prepare the breadcrumb, sorry. So there's many steps, and then everybody of us, me and my brother, we had two different things to do. So normally me, I had to pass in the eggs or in the pastella, and my brother breaded. And then my father makes the arancini. We put the stuff inside, then he roll it, and then we fry it together. My mom used to fry them. So was like a process, a family process to do the arancini together. And it was obviously every time a nice occasion to bring us together and spend time together. And we always do on Sunday, normally Sunday morning, and eat them together with my nonna and with my nonno when they were there. Yeah,
That's
it
beautiful.
was a
And
nice
I think
moment. Nice moment.
it is a beautiful moment, and it's a lot of work. But the thing is, again, you emphasize the importance of it being part of the family tradition. So everybody had a job. And I did not know that about the cone-shaped arancini that was in, because of the volcano and that particular region, Catania.
Yes,
That's
yes.
excellent.
Because the name arancini came from orange, arancia.
Yeah, okay.
In Palermo, there's a city where the oranges are really present, and so the round shape is about that. But in Catania, they still call it arancini. So in Palermo, the real name is arancina. Okay, in Catania is arancino, arancini. Plural is arancini.
Plural.
But the shape is really in honor of the volcano, of the mountain Etna. Yeah.
Very nice. Great fact. I hope you all know that and remember that the next time that you're in Sicily, because, of course, a lot of our readers love to go to Sicily. So, obviously, you had a great influence and love of food right from the start. But to be able to say, okay, pizza is my thing. Do you remember when maybe that moment was in your life that you decided, okay, I want to study this. I want to be great at it?
Since I was a kid, I used to go some Friday night with my dad to pick up pizzas in a pizzeria really close to our home in Turin, and it was a wood fire oven. And when I was a kid, but still now, when I was a kid, especially, I was hard time for me to be seated or to stay in the same place for more than 5 minutes. So my father used to sit me right in front of the pizza station with the pizzaioli, and I was amazed by the fire. Still today, I'm amazed by the fire inside the oven and the smell of the wood. So that was my first moment of love with this job, and the dance, the dance that the pizzaioli has in the pizzeria, because it's really a movement that doesn't, in any moment you can cross when you are in pizzeria. So one guy stretch, one guy dress, one guy the oven, and when you move, you know that if the fornaio, the guy at the oven, moves his back, you need to pay attention, because he doesn't have eyes on the back of his head. So you need to know exactly which moment you are in and what you are doing. So watching the fire was my first love with it. And then at 15 years old, I started to work in my first pizzeria, the one with the owner that didn't want to show me the east. And it was absolutely love at the first touch with the dough, absolutely right away. And I decided to continue with that, with this job, because I fell in love with the stretching of the dough, first of all, and then the ingredients, and then the fire in the oven again, and then cooking the pizza. So that moment, that first job that I took as a summer job, and during the week just some days, was something that tell me, maybe you like it more than what you thought, and maybe could be your career. And then it just go on. I never stop it. I just never stop it. And I started to be more and more interested in read about fermentation, maturation, pizza, bakery, not only pizza, but also baker and bakery.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my love. And still today, plenty of books. You never stop to learn in this world.
That's great. And that's good. I fully believe in that. You never stop to learn. And I love what you said, love at first touch. And again, if anybody has made bread or pizza or anything like this, or pasta from scratch, it is that tactile moment. I have to say, between the smell of the yeast and the touch, that's what I love too. I'm obviously just an amateur, but I totally relate with that. So becoming a pizzaiolo is quite like a strenuous process. And I noticed in past information, and I was looking on your Instagram, you talk about the Associazione Verace. Is that how you say it? Did you study there, or you part of that organization?
So I had the chance to be recognized as a pizzaiolo verace in 2011, because I did some big events with AVPN, and I used to work in AVPN-certified pizzeria, still in Piemonte, a little bit south where Alba is. So the better wines came from Barolo, Alba. Mm-hmm. And after I did after I came here in Canada, I had the chance to follow the training, to become a trainer myself, to give courses here in Canada. And what is important for me from AVPN is that AVPN is born to protect the correct and real way to make pizza, following the tradition. So we make pizza Napoletana. It's about 400 years that we do it pretty much in the same way. Some little thing changes, like the flour, it's more refined and other things. But the way that we do, the way that we cook, the way that we handle the dough and the fermentation, it's always been the same. So for me, it's again a tradition that I respect, I love, and I want to share with the new ones, with the next one that likes to fall in love as I did in my time.
Right. And we'll put the link to AVPN, but what Mirko is talking about is in Italian, it's Associazione Verace Pizza Napoletana. So the association, the school for the style of Neapolitan pizza, correct? So,
Yes.
and we'll put that link, and it has a fantastic reputation, probably the best in the world. So let's go backwards a little bit and talk about how you ended up in Canada, and in particular, Montreal.
I ended up in Canada because in 2011, I was working, 2010, I was working in the south of Italy in a city called Bra. In Bra, the movement Slow Food born. So Slow Food is protecting all the ingredients and the product that they are made in clear and transparent ways, only artisanal product. So I was there to open, I helped to open a pizzeria, and then I decided to stay there because I really loved the smaller city and the ambience, the vibe of that city. And so there, at one point in 2011, I met a guy and his wife that then after he became one of my best friends. Because also, other than only working in the pizzeria, I started working for a baker. His name is Gianfranco Fagnola. He's one of the best baker in Italy, and also one of the best baker that use sourdough. So my idea was, yes, working in the pizzeria, but make it bigger, my knowledge on sourdough, and also on the big product that we do in Christmas, like Pandoro, Panettone, Colomba. So all the product that needs to be made with sourdough, and they need a lot of knowledge and a lot of techniques. So that's why I went to knock at his door one night on a Friday night, and I asked him, I said, look, I want to learn. I don't want to be paid. I just want to learn. And he told me, when you can start. I said, whenever you want. And I started the day after, right away. And what we're planning to be a stage became my second job, because I used to work in a pizzeria the afternoon and finish like around 11, then go straight around midnight to the bakery, and finishing around 5-6 in the morning, then go back to home, sleep, and start again. But that period of 2 years and a half makes to me an incredible knowledge and also respect for people who work in bakery, and their knowledge and their life, how they live in the night, and they prepare everything for us, and they really love what they do, because it's an art job. It's really harder than just make pizzas. So all this, I think that amplified my baggage of knowledge and the respect for this for my job. And at the time I met David Zaccardi. Is one of my best friends. He's the executive chef of one of the best restaurants in Montreal. He came from Florence, Tuscany, in Italy. Mm-hmm. And we became friends. He actually was there in Piemonte to have a stage in a Michelin star restaurant with his wife. She's a nutritionist. And then we became friends. He came to have a stage in the same bakery where I used to work. And he came also to eat pizza in the pizzeria where I used to work. So after that, he asked me, why don't you came to Montreal to have an experience? And that's it. At the time I was young, without any attachment to anything. So I said, why not? I sold the few things that I had, and I said, okay, let's go. It was easier to came to Canada at that point. So I just applied, and I had my visa for tourism and work for 6 months of work and 6 months of tourism. And when I arrived, I started working for pizzeria and restaurant Bottega, where David is the executive chef. And really fast, I took my position of first pizzaiolo. And I was welcomed by this wonderful family that it's the Covone family. It's really well known in Montreal. It's an Italian family that really loves the tradition of Napolitan kitchen and cuisine.
And that's the beginning. And then the beginning of also number 900, Pizzeria number 900, and of course, be sure to follow them. How did that come about?
Pizzeria 900 is born. The first location opened in 2014. I was not there at the start. I started working with them in 2016. Mm-hmm. When we had already 4 locations. I opened the 5th one, and the owner and my boss, his name is Alexander Brunet. The vision was to give back the value, the real value to the pizzaioli and the Napolitan pizza here in Montreal. What I meant by that is that before, the pizza here was not known as a Napolitan pizza. It was known as a big crust full of cheese and pepperoni pizza. And that's absolutely respectable. Is the style and the kind of pizza is completely different than from Napolitan, and I respect that. But it was a new style introduced here in Montreal, and so his vision was to make Napolitan pizza have back his value and give it back the principle of this work to the pizzaioli too. So make the pizzaioli actually doing not a job but a really actual artisanal work. So be recognized for that. So that was the goal and the vision, and also working with the local product as much as possible when we can, and when we can't, we go in Italy to pick up our products like tomatoes, flour, balsamic, and sodas, or whatever we cannot have here as we want. But example, or our cold cuts, we stop importing from Italy, and I develop here all our meats, cold meats, with some amazing organic manufacturer here. They grown the animals here, and they transform for us. We did the recipe together, so I'm really happy about that. But when we can't, we go in Italy.
Right, that's amazing, and that's really important. It's something that we really support. In anything that's kind of sustainable is the idea of using locally sourced, and then of course, I imagine your flour is from Italy, though, right?
Yes, our flour is from Italy. We work a lot with the big known Mulino Caputo, really known in Italy. We have a great relationship with them. They're part of our family. We are part of their family. So that's nice, really nice. Yes.
So one thing you noticed is you had remarked about many of us who have grown up with a certain style of pizza, or if you've been to Chicago, you know what deep dish pizza is. So I think it's really important, just in case somebody doesn't know, just within Italy itself, we have 2 major styles of pizza, which is pizza Napoletana and then pizza Taglio, right? Is that how you say it? Al Taglio.
Yes. Al Taglio.
So I know that from being in Rome. So can you just briefly define what the differences are?
Yes. So between pizza Napoletana and pizza al taglio, the major difference are the dough. So dough in Napolitan pizza, it has an hydratation, so a quantity of water of 63-65%. So on 1 kilo flour, we have 630 grams of water. And then we have a direct fermentation at room temperature. When I say direct fermentation, means that, direct mixing means that we put all together flour, salt, yeast, and water, and we mix that together without any pre-fermented dough added. Okay, and we use just room temperature. Then we cook in a really hot temperature oven, around 900 Fahrenheit, so 430 Celsius roughly, and we cook for 90 seconds. So we have a product that is really soft, pliable, a little bit elastic, where we can absolutely right away taste the taste of tomatoes mixed with a little bit of fat of the mozzarella fior di latte, the acidity of olive oil. And that's something that we eat right away and needs to be eaten really in a fast way. We cannot eat the pizza napoletana in 25 minutes. It's going to become cold and too much elastic and chewy. Pizza al taglio, it's originally from Rome. It's way younger than Napolitan pizza. Pizza romana in teglia, it started to be made in bakeries around in the 70s, and then it grows and grows and grows bigger. And for sure, one of the chef behind this explosion of Roman pizza style is Gabriele Bonci in Rome, that everybody knows, because he added kitchen technique and ingredients and local ingredients transformed, put on the pizza. So taste-wise, looking-wise, the pizza al taglio, it's way more colored than a Napolitan pizza. We can work a lot more with ingredients because we can prepare before and put on top of the pizza and just warm up. He has a dough that is made completely different than the Napolitan style, because he has a lot more water. We talk about 85%, so 850 grams of water per kilo of flour. We use a different flour too. We have a fermentation that takes fridge, so it's a cold fermentation for about 48 to 72 hours. And we have a dough that is cooked in an electric oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. So the dough is really airy, a lot of holes inside, really crispy and really digestible, really light also, but it's crunchy. So it's completely different as a texture, as a structure than a Napolitan. And it's easy to keep and warm up, to keep in the fridge and warm up in our oven. So it's completely different kind of pizza. But both of them are really particular and unique in their own story and ways to be prepared.
Yeah, very good.
I really love them both.
Yeah, nobody's asking anybody to choose. And I'm sure no matter whatever region in the country, in Italy you are, you might, there might be a little rivalry there. But one thing going back is the 900 degrees, and that's key. So number 900 pizza, if you're looking it up, is related to the oven temperature, right?
Absolutely. It is exactly that. 900 is called in honor of the temperatures of the Fahrenheit degrees that we use to cook.
Yeah, so fascinating with the pizza oven. I've seen that into a local South Florida restaurant, the pizza oven being brought in, and you have to keep it on all the time, and the temperature and everything like that. Yes. So that's why anybody who's trying to do this at home, it just won't happen unless you have like a pizza oven in the back. But that is key. So congratulations. I mean, number 900, of course, because I don't live in Canada anymore. I was not familiar with the name. I actually found you on the CBC News. Is that you have 31 locations in Montreal, one in Ontario and one in France, and still growing. That's amazing.
Actually two in France.
Two in France. Why France? Lyon. I mean, that's a big city. Foodie and industry. Why France? How did that happen?
Oh, just because we had somebody. Okay, the person in charge for the development at 900. He has in the past he had a lot of contacts in France, and somebody from France came here to check our restaurant, to visit our restaurant, and he really fell in love with the concept. So he decided to do the same thing in France, and we decided to let him open and let him develop the concept in France. And he started with Lyon, with the first location. It went really smooth and well, and decided to open the second. And now we have some opportunity to develop a little bit more the France and Europe in general. So that's why it happened in France, and we start with Lyon because he's from Lyon.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. But I love it how, this international spreading of knowledge of what pizza Napoletana really is. I love that. So, speaking of pizza Napoletana, congratulations, because that's how I discovered you by following the Canadian news, is that you recently won the first place in the pizza Napoletana category at the International Pizza Competition. So international meaning, okay, because this is what makes it tough. This is all over the world, including Italy, correct?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. The Las Vegas, it became in the last 10 years the most difficult and occupied, if I can say that, or busy, or full of Italians for the Napolitan competition. There are 5 categories normally. The Napolitan one, we were 120 this year. When I started competing in 2017, was my first time, we were 30, just to let you understand how much it grows in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And so in the Napolitan category, there's obviously 95% of Italians that participate. And the last 3-4 years, we have at least 50% directly from Campania, so from Naples region or from Italy, came to Las Vegas because it became really good and really big, and with a lot of good people, really good professionals that participate to that. So for me, it was even more a challenge and even more a nice result, an amazing result, because of all this. So it means that we can do some amazing product, not obliged to be in Italy, just following some nice and simple rules, use the right ingredients, put it as much as possible our passion into it, and with a bit of lucky too, and we can do the best product ever.
Yeah, but I'm sure well deserved. Of course, luck always plays into everything, but you and your team have worked hard for that. And one thing that I found, obviously, listening to you, I can hear it in your voice and your personality. But one thing that you've said, that you never take the easy way out. So it's really good to point out that you won this on the Marinara category.
Yeah.
And Mirko can explain that to us, but we think pizza cheese, and this is pizza without a cheese. So I imagine that's just hard to please right there. And imagine making that the best pizza. So what goes into your famous Marinara?
Marinara is one of the oldest pizza from Naples. So one of the oldest one is the Masto Nicola, that it was made with just some lard, a little bit of olive oil, and grated cheese and pepper. That was really the first one when they start making some pizza using some dough leftover from the bakeries. Marinara is the second one, and it was made for people who used to go and fish and stay outside, because it's a nice pizza that you can bring with you, because the humidity of tomatoes allows you to bring with you and consuming that pizza in later. So on the Marinara, you just have tomato sauce, crushed tomatoes, that you do obviously by hand or with a fork, or with can I say in English, like the vegetable.
The puree.
The puree, thank you. But never with an electric blender. Never tomato sauce with an electric blender. So in the marinara, you have the tomato sauce, you have the garlic, you have the oregano, and you have olive oil. That's it, 4 ingredients. Even the basil was not part of this pizza in the tradition. Now it's like allowed to use it, but in the competition that we do in Vegas is not part of the pizza. And so the marinara is harder because there's nothing like cheese that can helps you to cover mistakes on the cooking or on the presentation of the pizza. You have nothing to hide. So if you cook too much, the sauce is gonna be dry. If you cook not enough, the dough and the pizza, they're gonna be too wet, and the sauce is gonna be too liquid. And then the amount of garlic, olive oil, and oregano needs to be well balanced. Otherwise, too much garlic or too much oregano, and it covers the taste of sauce. That it's the base, it's the main ingredients on that pizza. So garlic and oil they are there to infuse your tomatoes with the nice aroma. But that's it. You don't need to exaggerate. And the cooking is the base of that pizza. It's really, really super important. If you do something like a margherita, is the most sell pizza everywhere in the world.
Right.
No objection with that. But it helps you to cover some mistakes if you did. So the cheese can cover a little bit missing cooking or not a perfect stretching, or the taste. Cheese cover a lot on the taste of tomatoes. That's why for me making the marinara, and I asked somebody to print me some hat to make a joke with make Marinara Great Again, because because I think marinara deserves the value and the honors on again, and people needs to know how important it was on this history of the pizza. And then of course margherita is margherita. Everybody loves it. I love margherita.
Right.
But marinara for me was a challenge, and I always do marinara in my competition. It takes me a lot of time to let people and judge understand that marinara could be even better than a margherita when it's well done. And this year it works.
I like that. I'm behind that movement. We'll start t-shirts. Make marinara great again. And obviously, by you explaining that, because obviously if I Google marinara sauce and I'm thinking about it and everything like this, but the whole process, it makes you really also appreciate the judging process, because they're thinking of all these things. You have to have a very refined palate and understanding, again, of all these things that make up pizza that we think, the commoner, is so simple, but it is such a skill and art form. I love that. So as you know, it's June. I don't know when the video itself will be actually up, but for sure our podcast and article will be up in June. Italian Heritage Month. So obviously Canada has become your new home. And
yes.
Could you speak about that? And also being an Italian Canadian in Montreal, what does that mean to you?
Well, look, first of all, I never felt an immigrant here. What I meant by that is that I was always welcomed as a part of the family whenever I went. Canada and Montreal, especially Montreal now, it's really my home. I'm lucky because I have the chance to go in Italy a lot. I go 3-4 times a year for work, and now going in Italy is a lot of pleasure, because I don't see Italy as the country where I live, with all the problem that you can have in every country. But in Italy, we know that sometimes there's some problems of doing things, day tasks that they are a little bit longer or not organized as well as here in Canada. But now, when I go in Italy, it's really a pleasure. But living in Canada gave me a lot. Give me a family, give me my amazing job, give me the chance to teach and share my passion and my knowledge. So I really love it, and I love to be here. I love the winter. I love the snow.
You love the winter.
Yes, I came from the north of Italy.
Yeah, I know.
So for me, it's absolutely normal. I used to live Turin. It's not even an hour from Monte Bianco, from the Alpi. So for me, snow is absolutely normal. I always went to ski in the winter, to do snowboard. So for me, it's absolutely normal. I don't mind. I like it. Honestly, I probably like it better the winter than when it's too humid in the summer. Here, I prefer winter than the humidity, but again, it's really an amazing country. And Montreal, it's a lot more European than Toronto, let's say.
Yeah,
so it's for me, it's like being in Europe, staying here. Yeah, right. I love it.
And such a great food scene too. So
Yes.
to be, the best, again, what a great recognition, because it's very competitive, just like in Toronto. And then also, like you said, cultivating the authenticity. I mean, I think maybe one of the hardest struggles over time, maybe not so much now, is having people understanding what true Napoletana is. Yes. Yeah. And I imagine sometimes, some people, it might be a shock at first, or seeing, like, let's say, for example, I've read, people are not used to seeing the burn marks on the crust and things like that from the oven.
Yes, that's actually a really good point, because a lot of time happens to me that people tell me, yeah, they told me that Napolitan pizza needs to be, it's okay if it's burned. It's not. There's nobody who wants to eat burnt pizza or burnt bread or burnt meat. If you have a slightly like, how can I say, smoky or a little bit slightly burned leopard crust or undercarriage, it's okay. But there's nobody who wants to eat burnt pizza. If the pizza is burnt, is because two things: dough is not ready or too cold, oven is too hot. There's nothing else. Or the fornaio, the guy or the girl who cooked the pizza, he didn't do the job properly. There's no other way. So if you check the pizzas of the best pizza maker in Naples, and even here, never gonna see a pizza, a cornicione, sort of the crust burnt. It's well colored, it's gold, but it's with a nice leopard, never burnt. That's not true.
And I'm sorry for using that term. That's a really good point. So now I will be watching out. Yes. It's the colored, especially when the dough rises a bit and bubbles, you'll see it a bit. But definitely, yes, no burnt pizza.
No burnt pizza.
It's not part of it. So in wrapping this up, what are your goals? I mean, speaking to you, you are just all about education. I love that, about information sharing. What way do you want to move professionally, let's say in the next 10 years?
Our next goal is we are opening an AVPN school here in Montreal. So we're going to give a professional course here in Montreal of 5 days, lot of practice and theory too. But for me, the goal it will be really to form people to be ready to start in pizzeria and to understand what is pizza, what is ingredients, what they are, how we manage fermentation and maturation, what means by when I speak about fermentation or maturation of dough, how to handle it, how to cook it, so to understand the equipments too. And we will do course with 4 people at the same time max. Why 4 people? Because we have 2 ovens, and I want to be as much as possible close to them while they're doing their course. I don't want class of 12 people. I cannot follow them. I need to stay with them, explain to them how and why we do things in a certain way, let them make mistakes and show them why and how we can avoid that. So for people, two in each oven, one stretch, one cook, and then we change. So that's our goal in the next months and in the next years, to form people in this way. And the other goal is to offering to the young guy, or even not so young guy and girls who want to become pizzaioli and follow our course. We're gonna offer this course for free in exchange of having them with us for about 2 years in our pizzerias. So that's gonna be another way for us to be sure that we form and we train people, and that we have people that really wants to be to become a pizzaioli for real in their life. And we're gonna offer that to new people coming to 900 if they want, or otherwise they can make the course and then open their own things, or going to work for another joint. No problem for us.
Right.
It's just question of sharing knowledge.
Of course, that's fantastic. So, about how long could somebody expect to have to go through this course for before they would, let's say, be of the caliber that is needed?
The course is going to be 5 days. 5 days.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's intense.
Because it's intense. It's going to be 5 days, 8 hours a day. So it's a 40 hours course. And we're going to have a part of theory, and the rest is just really only practice. Then, of course, they're not going to be completely formed pizzaioli, but they can start as helping and then growing. Everybody needs to do his own path from the bottom to understand how to organize and manage a pizzeria. You cannot just follow a course and think that you know everything, because it's like a school. You can study, but then when you actually gonna do your work, you need to do your own way.
And like you said, we're forever learning. So something that you mentioned in another interview, just we'll talk about it quickly before we finish, is that you consider number 900 kind of the anti-chain.
Yes.
So is this one of the ways that you're able to maintain quality control, and is there anything else?
Yes, anti-chain, because we are a big group. We are a chain. Let's say they think properly. But what is different is that we really do everything by hand. Yet it's completely artisanal. So every location does his own dough every day. Mm-hmm. That's the most difficult to be controlled, is how you can be sure that everything is made in a proper way every day. Where I have a team of trainer that is every day in the restaurants, and of course we have mistakes, we have problems too, but we follow them every day, and we are sure that we visit them, and we do follow-ups to control and fix problems. But for me, anti-chain is because we do artisanal things. We work with local organic producer, and we don't make compromise with prices. Be a chain, it needs to be. People need to understand that be a chain. It doesn't mean to be cheap. A chain, it has a bigger volume of buying. Big volume of buying means better prices, so better option to offer better products. So you choose as a chain to be cheap, or to offer really good products as with a nice price that came with it. It's really how can I say, a thing that you choose to do. So if you want to be on top of the game, I think you can do with the chain if you want to. If you want to make more money, you can do also. But for us, the most important thing is to offer the best product that we can and that came with education and on what people eat on their plates, on their pizzas, but also with passion and love for these people that works behind the product. For me, it's not important only the product. Is is the producer behind the prosciutto, the work with this prosciutto for 18 months. You need to be respected, and people need to know why and how he did it. That's what I like.
Yeah.
What I love.
Yeah. I see that in your face. And again, it's that authenticity, the artisanal thing that connects us, to each other and to food. That's amazing. So finally, last question. Besides friends and family, what do you miss about Italy when you're in Canada and vice versa?
Oh, the diversity of fruit and vegetables, the weather sometimes, especially this moment of the year, the 18, 19, 20 degrees with a little bit of breeze. I miss the sea. I miss the going to my nonna's house, close to the beach, going in Sicily, going around. It's because what changed a lot in Italy is that every region you visit, every city you visit, there's different tradition and different special products that they do, and that the most amazing thing, because you never stop to learn about a tradition or a small product or a small or something that they do in a bakery or in the kitchen that is different completely from what you used to have before. That's what I miss the most. Yeah.
That's great. So you have still family in Sicily, and you go there.
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
yes,
how
yes,
nice.
yes.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But I find when I've talked to people from Sicily and also foreigners who live there now, their eyes light up just like that. I had a couple there, she was saying, the wife, how you're just walking along the street and then the lemons are just like dropping to the ground. Just sounds so beautiful. But yeah, I understand that. So what about vice versa? When you're in Italy, let's say for an extended period of time, what do you miss about Montreal?
If my family are not with me, I miss them a lot, especially my two young daughter and my wife. But what I miss from Canada is from Montreal especially is how well organized and smooth things are done. Everything it's really where we have problems here too, but nothing compared to other cities in the world. Is Montreal and Canada are really so well organized, clean, properly done. Everything is the same for everybody. When you go to, no matter what offices from government, you get things done fast, easy, and well done. That's what I like. But what I miss is also the nature. Here, the nature is absolutely amazing. They have less history than us. But whenever you go out from the city, there's some amazing natural things to do. You have obviously less historical construction or building, but that's another way of living the amazing thing that every country can give to you. So I visit natural things other than going in Italy and visit some historical cities. It's just another way of looking at things, but it's the same. It's the same vibe. It's the same moment of happiness.
That's great to know, and that's great. And I'm glad that you found such success and a beautiful life in Canada. It's good to know. So, if you are looking to find number 900 Pizzeria, you can find them on Instagram and their website. And I just happened to pull it up. So it's just so easy. I don't know if you see that. With the light, number 900. We'll put all the links below, and you can also find Mirko on Instagram as well. I'll put that link, and I've been following you and all your videos and everything, and be sure to check out that moment when him and his team won that award in Las Vegas. That's just simply amazing. And I hope when you get to Montreal or Lyon, the two locations in France, or Ontario, that you go visit and let us know what you think about their pizza, the true pizza Napoletana. So we are Live in Italy Magazine. The website is www.liveinItalyMag.com. And then on all social media, Live in Italy Mag. And look for the Italy Answered podcast. We're relatively new there. We can be found on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you can believe it, it's been almost 30 years, probably more than 30 years since I've been to Montreal. You know where I'll be going. I love pizza. So thank you for joining us. And
thank you so much to invite me. Alla prossima. It was really a nice chat, funny chat.